Relax Teams. We meet every Wednesday at the same time, 8 a.m. The team comes together via Zoom, and at the end, we live stream a certain portion of the event. So with that said, we have our live end of summer event. It's on August 31st. It's 5 to 8 p.m., $20 for the dinner. Awesome food, Ray's Bistro, Bound Brook, New Jersey. Feel free to call for details or email us. Everyone is welcome. There will be some beer and wine. You're encouraged to bring your own drinks because it is a BYOB. Again, the bistro, the food is excellent, and we'll have a great team, a great group to meet, and feel free to do some in-person end of summer networking. With that said, we are Relaxed Teams. We do meet every Wednesday, and we have available positions. Anyone is welcome to visit, but what we do is we have once you have the position, it is your position, and these are some positions that are open. We only have 8 slots left. We only admit a total of 30 people to the team. You don't need to be in one of these positions to be part of the team, but these are just suggestions of open positions that we have at this time. With that said, I'll kick things off. My name is Dennis Harabin. I am a CPA. I'm the managing partner with Relax Tax, and we are obsessed with helping people to retain more of what they earn, whether it be through tax credits for for businesses, or whether it's for individuals, and optimizing insurance, tax, and debt. We understand that what separates the people that thrive from the people that just survive. We've analyzed it in detail, and it's how they use tax, insurance, and debt. Often they're using each in a vacuum, and they're conflicting with each other, and it's really impacting how much they retain of what they make. It's not as much of what you make, it's about how much you retain. With that said, up next, we have Paul.
Morning, everybody. Paul Tavern from Digital Maestro, where we harmonize your online strategy by taking a look at all the things that you're doing online and trying to make them as effective and efficient as possible. We work with small businesses to either take a look at their website to see what needs to be tweaked so that it turns more into a marketing machine and it gets business coming in, as opposed to you constantly just updating the site and working on the site instead of it working for you. So we're located here in Somerville, New Jersey, and have clients, just talked about this, work on sites coast to coast, as well as in 6 different countries. Paul Taubman from Digital Maestro, where we harmonize your online strategy. And next up is whoever is after Lisa.
Yes, Lisa is not here today. Lisa is a wellness consultant. So next up, we have Candido.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Candido Rodriguez. I'm a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. And what I do is help business owners and families bring their dreams and goals to life. With the continuous changes in inflation, longevity, income, people need to feel comfortable with their finances and make sure that they have a plan that back them up. Our approach, we work side by side, and we try to create and implement a financial plan that will help them not only planning for the future, but doing so without sacrificing the life of today. This approach, it works out for financial security, whether it's education planning, retirement, or estate planning. My name is Candido Rodriguez with Northern Mutual. I think our business, Desiree.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Desiree Halleck, and I'm the owner of Clarence Services, which is a marketing agency for startups and small businesses. And I teach my clients that they don't have to boil the ocean to have an effective marketing plan that will help them grow their businesses. We do anything from email marketing, lead nurturing campaigns, doodle videos, social media maintenance, blogging and other content marketing, and also chief marketing officer services for the fraction of the cost of hiring a full-time person. You can check out my 5-minute marketing with Clarence on YouTube or my website at clarenceservices.com. Next up is Jonas.
Jonas is not here today. Jonas owns Access Commercial Door. They help you with all your commercial door hardware, whether you're building from scratch and or replacing existing hardware. Next up, we have George. George is also not available here today. George is with Caring Transitions of Somerset, Middlesex, and Mercer counties. He specializes in helping people to transition their homes, whether in particular with elderly people who've been in the home for a very long time. Next up, we have Rochelle.
Good morning. My name is Rochelle DiCrescenzo. I'm a physical therapist, and my practice is The Healing Journey. I'm located in Clinton, New Jersey. And in my practice, I specialize in a type of therapy called John Barnes myofascial release. And in our bodies, we have a fascial system, just like we have a muscular system and a circulatory system. We have a fascial system. It's a three-dimensional connective tissue web that connects all of our whole entire body and gives it support and allows for movement. When we have restrictions in that web, it causes pain and dysfunction and difficulty with the things that you want to do. So I partner with my patients to get to the root cause of their symptom, looking at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit, not just the symptom in isolation. And you can find more information at Rochelle or the Healing Journey, mfrpt.com.
Next up is Tracy. She is not here today. Tracy is a functional and nutritionist life coach who helps people with heal their entire body through nutrition and family coaching. Next up, Randy. He's a senior relationship banker with M&T Bank, and he's taking one of those very rare vacations. Randy is always there when you need him, and he's with M&T Bank. Next up, we have who's going to be our feature speaker, Jeannie.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Jeannie Asante, and I do come from the Staten Island market. I do have a business called I Dream of Jeannie, which has been in existence since 1988. And that is a portfolio of a lot of companies. But today I'm going to highlight identity theft protection. And the reason I'm going to do that is really quickly, I just want you to think about what is your identity worth to you? If someone should decide to steal it and do unmentionable things or even mentionable things, what would that cost your life? How would that interrupt your life? Would it interrupt your life? And if it does interrupt your life, what would it do to you? Think about that, and we'll talk about that later. Thank you.
Excellent. And not here today is Jake. Jake of all trades. He is an insurance specialist. He helps you to get the right coverage. He works with multiple carriers. And if he doesn't have, if what your coverage is the best coverage you can get, he'll be the first one to tell you. Jake Manola. Next up, we have Tim. Tim is our videographer. You can see some of his video work on the homepage of Relaxed Teams. He specializes in storytelling, a winner of multiple Emmys. Tim likes to say he'll shoot anything but weddings and porn. Next up, we have Chris from Stonehill. Chris is a financial advisor who focuses on protecting the entire family with protection strategies. Next up, Robert Bureau. Robert is a public adjuster, something very few people know about. He is licensed by the commission, the Banking and Insurance Commission. Whenever you have a claim or prior a claim, you want to talk to a public adjuster. Basically, it is someone who is on your side fighting to make sure the insurance company is doing everything that they need to do. You never pay a dime for having a public adjuster. They basically just have a percentage of the increased claim that you are able to get by actually having someone who thoroughly knows the law on your side. Next up, Chris Flipper. Chris is with On the Bus, and he has coaching, training, and helping. He does a weekly event on Thursdays, a free weekly event called Bang, and he has monthly training classes and virtual trade shows. Next up, we have Anthony.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Guzman. I'm a risk consultant with USI Insurance Services. At USI, we are a data-driven insurance brokerage and consulting firm. We help small businesses with capital efficient insurance with a focus on holistic risk management. Our goal is to not just to give a business a cookie cutter policy, but we look at exposures that business owners don't normally look at. For example, we got errors in emission insurance and professional liability insurance, which most businesses are not savvy enough. But what we do is we go in, look at all your exposures, and devise a solution that helps not only your bottom line, but protect your business on the long term as you grow or either scale up or scale down. Anthony with USI Insurance Services. Next up is Jonathan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jonathan with Business on the Browser. We are your team to take your business to the browser. So we work with small, medium-sized businesses to transition any type of processes or business ways into the automation, into the cloud, onto the Google platform. So we basically work with you to learn how you do your business, optimize some of your processes, and show you a bunch of really cool art of the possible type stuff along the way. So it's the full transformation of your business from your current workspace into this ever-changing remote world onto the cloud. Jonathan with Business on the Browser. Next up is Matt.
Next up, we have Erin. We skipped over that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Erin, you're up.
Hi guys, good morning. Erin Myers. I'm with Keller Williams. I'm a residential realtor. I work with renters, people looking to sell their homes or purchase a new home, investors. So if you or anyone you know is looking to make a move, I'd be happy to help them out with the transition. Obviously, there's no commitment. Just having, I'd be happy to have a phone call or a quick meeting to talk about what the current landscape looks like out there, what the search and what the buying or selling process looks like, and to help with any kind of movement and transition. I know it could be a stressful time, and my goal is to make it a little bit less stressful, dealing with me and take the stress out of it. I know it could be crazy, but with the right person at your side, it doesn't always have to be. So thank you guys. Have a good afternoon.
Excellent. Vipin, you're up, sir.
Thanks, Dennis. Hi, everyone. My name is Vipin Singh. I'm a business broker with Murphy Business Sales. We help business owners, especially small and medium-sized business owners, buy and sell businesses. So if there's anyone in your network who's looking to have a conversation, a lot of these conversations start with a valuation discussion. If anyone is looking for any of those services, including valuation, machinery and equipment appraisal, buying and selling of businesses, please feel free to reach out. My information is on the slide here, and I'm also available to do in-person meetings if anyone is interested. Again, this is Vipin from Murphy Business Sales.
Excellent. Next up, we have Matt Sacco, our student ambassador from Project Scholarship. Matt is actually heading back to the College of New Jersey. So we do have an available position for any student ambassadors who want to be, and generally individuals who want to join and help shape Project Scholarship. Project Scholarship is a 501c nonprofit whose focus is to help students go from classroom to career with less debt and to gain real-world college business work experience to help them land internships and to be more competitive in the job market that, as we know, is everly changing, like we discussed today in our discussion earlier. Next up, we have Alana. Alana is not here today. She has Center Cut Pilates. They do specialize in private and small Pilates sessions. She has just reopened her center in Main Street in Clinton, New Jersey. And we have Hurley Fox. He's the owner of Business Professional Financing. He does a lot more than just your accounting and bookkeeping work, but basically he does your accounting and bookkeeping work in addition to help you really analyze and understand what comes from that. And we have Danelle, who makes fitness fun. She specializes in exercise instructor. And Alexis is with Fitness Knocking, a virtual group or a mobile group that will come to your location, business or office to help work you out and training. With that, that's the end of our stream through, and we want to turn over the controls to Jeannie. Jeannie, you are a feature presenter. You have up to 12 minutes.
Wow, turning over control to me, not something really bright, but we're gonna work with it. No, I'm kidding. So good morning, everyone. And yes, just really quickly, my name is Jeannie, and I know I've been MIA for the past couple of weeks. Just to let you know, my house is under major construction. So usually at this time of the morning, you're hearing bang, bang, crack. And I said to myself, not a good way to be on a meeting. So I decided that it was best for me not to be on. So my apologies, but I have a brand new baby coming along, a grandbaby, really soon. And I wanted the house to be in top notch when she decided to make her entrance. So I'm excited about getting that done. And so that was my project for the past month. But with that being said, I have a passion, and my passion is to make sure that people understand how important it is to protect your identity and protect the identity of your family and your friends if you possibly can. And let me say that today I want it to be a purely educational thing. I just want it to be where everyone just kind of understands what is going on with identity theft and why people should really look at this as a serious thing rather than just something else that is just on our plate. It should not be the main thing on your plate, but it should be something that you are thinking about, and not only just thinking about, but it should be something that you're educated about. So let me educate you a little bit about what's going on in the world. I mean, I know a lot of us listen to the news, right? And we hear how big companies are being compromised, and you get letters in the mail from Equifax or from Chase or Marriott or whatever that you've been somehow their client at some point or have some kind of transaction with them, and that your information may have been compromised. Now, I love when they use that word may, because that word may means it has. It's not, you're not an exception, just to let you know. And the reason that I say that to you right now, and I'm being a little, rough with that word, is because that may leaves them out of any kind of legal obligation to do anything more than just send that simple letter. They warned you. They said something might have happened. Now it's up to you to look into it to make sure that something did not happen. It's not their responsibility after that. And a lot of us feel, oh, this big company is going to take care of me. And they will, to a point, by sending you that letter that says may. And their responsibility to you is over at that point. And that's up to you if you want to continue doing business with them. And some of them, we don't have a choice. It's our banking, or, we deal with Marriott for, I travel with Marriott forever, and, and United Airlines and all these places. And so I don't really want to switch. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that my identity is protected. So here's what happens. Of course, I'm an identity theft protection customer, right? Because it would be silly for me to do something and I'm not involved in it. You agree, right? That's like, going out and selling Cadillacs and driving a Honda. It just doesn't seem to make sense, right? So every time something happens on my credit, whether it's within my knowledge or not, I get an alert immediately. And I don't mean, 24 hours later as an immediate. I'm talking about on time alerts. For instance, I just switched some of my credit cards to a 0 interest credit card. They're starting to come back out. Remember those 0% interest, switch balance over, right? It's been a while since they've been around, but somehow, some way, they're starting to come back around again. And now, because I'm doing the work in my house that I am, and I put everything on the credit card, I'm like, ooh, 0% interest. This works for me, right? So I switched a couple of things over, and I didn't get an alert 2 days later or 3 days later. I got an alert within 5 minutes of the time that I applied for that card and got approved. Is this you? I also got an alert saying that I spent money in North Carolina. Yeah, I was not in North Carolina. I did not spend money down there. But how great is it to know that it happened, that I know about it before any other action can be taken? So I remember years ago that, you put your credit card in that little machine that gets you gas, right? And then somebody takes a copy of it and starts using it, and then all of a sudden they're spending money and I don't even know where. By the time you found out about it is when you got your statement 30 days later. And then you had to call the company, explain to them and prove to them that there's no way you could have been in New Jersey getting gas and 20 minutes later in North Carolina buying whatever it is that they bought. But you had to prove that it wasn't you. I mean, they've gotten so much better with it now that they really can just tell right away. They understand how the fraud is working, and they got really good with it. But how great would it be if you didn't have to wait that 30 days? How great would it be to know right away so that you could just push a button on there that says, no, that was not me. And then that's it. You don't have to do anything else. The company does the rest. I mean, pushing a button is much easier than getting on the phone and proving it wasn't you. Wouldn't you agree? The company takes care of the rest. Here's some other things that the company does that nobody really thinks about. How many people here have ever lost their wallet? How many people here know somebody that lost their wallet? How overbearing was it to get that stuff back? Here's the thing, you ready? You lose your wallet, all your ID is in it, and you need ID to get your stuff back. Isn't that hilarious? Like, how are you gonna accomplish that? So now you gotta run around, get ID from whoever's willing to give you ID of who you are, right? You can't go to the driver's license, you can't go to motor vehicle and get a copy of your ID. You have to actually order it online, because if you go to motor vehicle, they're gonna ask you for ID so they can give you your ID. Crazy, right? You have to go to the police department and put in a report most of the times and send out a copy of that report. And each one, now the police department is starting to charge money for each copy of the report that they send you. And if you make copies on your own, you know that big thing that says do not copy comes right across it. Did you know that? So you actually have to get the copies from the police department. So they got pretty smart as well. And you know, to be making some money on it. But so important to know that you don't have to do that if you have identity theft protection. Again, what you do is you push a button. I lost my wallet. Everything that you had in that wallet, with the exception of your cash, they're going to take care of. They're going to make sure you get all your credit cards back within a timely fashion. They're going to make sure that they get all your license and, you know, whatever bank cards you have or whatever store cards you have, whatever it is that you have in that wallet. You know, and it's really interesting to know that you can get that back within a blink of an eye rather than have to go through the work that you would normally have to go to. Now, how many people here have children, grandchildren, right? How many people love children? Paul is like, yep, I'm out. All right, Paul, we're gonna just block you out. No. But here's something that most people don't. Here's something that most people don't think about. Who's your neighbor? When somebody new moves in, do you want to know what they're about if you have children around your home? Do you want to know if that's a predator? I would. And I think about that more now that I'm having a brand new grandbaby coming about, right? Because eventually she's going to start walking and I'm going to walk with her in the neighborhood. One day she's going to be playing in my front yard. And I'm going to think about at that time who's living next door to me? I'd rather know now. So every time someone moves into your neighborhood, if you have identity theft protection with a company called ID Seal, which is the company that I represent, you're going to get an alert every time somebody moves in that's a predator. You're going to know what they did, how long they spent time, and how they were accused. You're going to know that it wasn't somebody that was just accused of something and that it wasn't real. You're going to know that it was a real-time thing. And I think that's very valuable in this day and age. So how many people get Facebook requests for monies now? Remember when they were prevalent? I remember a friend of mine one time, she said to me through Facebook, she was going to Europe. 2 days later, I get a request for thousands of dollars from her that she lost her passport, her credit cards weren't working, so on and so forth. Now, I knew her family, right? So I sat there and I thought about it and I said, not that I don't mind sending this woman some money, because if you need money, you're a friend of mine, I'm going to do it if I can. But I said, why is she not contacting her family first? What she contacted me for? They were nowhere near by meager means, right? So I was trying to figure that out. So I called up her daughter and I said to her daughter, you know, do you know that your mom's in major health? Like, she's right now in major health. She's stuck. She can't get out of a country that she's in. I forgot where she was. I think it was Italy. She's got no money, no credit cards, no license. The hotel's giving her a hard time because something happened that they can't charge her card. So she's got nowhere to stay. They made it sound so dire. You know, and it wasn't even her. She hadn't even left yet for her vacation. She was still here. Now, if I didn't happen to call her daughter and know her family and feel really bad, I would have sent her some money. And that would have been that. Somebody else would have had it. So this is just a few things that you don't even have to think about that can happen, that you don't even have to know what's going on. But here's one that's really huge. Do you know that someone can change your address and you wouldn't even know it? Because you know credit card companies do not do forwarding, right? Important documents do not do forwarding. So they're going to still come to your old addresses as long as you don't change it with the company itself. And two things happen when they change your address. And I've done this for my children because they moved in and out a few times, right? So I've done it when they moved out. I changed their address for them so they would get their mail. And I've done it to move it back in when they had to come back. And it was just interesting to know that they never sent, when they went to move out, they never sent me a confirmation. They sent it to them, to the new address. So I never knew whether they actually changed the address or not, till the mail stopped coming completely. That's when I knew. But they're important things. Their credit cards, renewal of their license, insurance paper, and all that stuff that you normally would be looking for in the mail will come to the address that you haven't filed with that particular company. So when they change your address, now they put the address that they have brand new on whatever new credit card that they opened. And if we have good credit, guess what? They could open a credit card on a dime. And they spend that money so fast. You never thought that anybody could spend that kind of money so fast, right? But they do. They spend it so fast, and but by the time you find out, your head is spinning. But how would you like to know when something new gets opened up immediately underneath your name, whether it's on your address or not, or when you get an address change, when someone does an address change? What does that for one of your children? Because who's expecting mail for our kids? So I had this friend, and I'll end with this. She, I don't know if I told the story before or not, but it is worth repeating. She was so great with her son that he was getting ready to go to college, and she said, let's go get you a car a year before you go to college, so I'm comfortable with you driving back and forth, right? So they did that. And as she's sitting in the dealership, she said, wow, you know what? Great idea. Let me put your name on the car, because it's about time that we started treating you somewhat of an adult and start building a credit line for you. So she went to go put his name on the car. She gave the car dealer all the information that she needed to give him. The car dealer came back with this perplexed look on his face. And this kid was only 17. And he said, we can't put this kid's name on the car. We can't give him a car. We can give you one. We can't give him one. And she's like, what are you talking about? Well, the reason we can't give it to him is because he already owns 3 houses and 2 cars. He's already beyond debt. Now, he's owned 2 houses and 3 cars for most of his life, and nobody knew. Here's the deal. She was able to kind of fix it $50,000 later with an attorney, right? Yep. And still, every so often, when he does something large, I mean large by refinance his house, buy a home, something really large like that, and he happens to be an investor, so it happens kind of often, he has to dig out that paperwork, update it, and prove that it wasn't him. So just having to do that from time to time is a little overbearing sometimes. Now that he knows it has to happen, he just does it automatically. Why have to go through that step? If she had had identity theft protection at the time, this would have never happened. She would have been alerted as soon as something was opened up in his name.
Good.
So guys, this is the cost of 75 cents a day. Is your identity worth 75 cents a day? And I'm going to end with that. Any questions?
Thanks, Jeannie. That's what I was going to say. Let's see if anyone has any questions, and we'll wrap up.
Thank you, Paul.
Jeannie, what other companies do you own? What other brands?
So I have a solar company. I put solar on people's homes and businesses. So that's, and I love that business because it really helps people sometimes even stay in their home. Because if I take $5,000 to $6,000 out of your income every single year, it makes a difference in your lifestyle. So I do that. I also have Airbnbs that I own and run, quite a few of them actually. I buy and sell homes on a very private sector. When I mean very, very private sector, I'm not a realtor by any stretch of the imagination. Never even thought about taking a test for a realtor. But, my friends at one point know that I have a huge outlet. So they said to me that, one day that one of my friend's parents died and they lived in Texas and the house was here in New York and they didn't want to deal with it. So all I did was a flip. I just bought it for them what I thought the value was, and somebody else wanted to buy it. That's what I mean by buying homes in a private, very private. That's something that doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
Awesome.
And there's a little bit more to me than the eye. Thank you for asking that question. Anyone else? So here's what I'd like you to do, guys.